Thank you for being with us, Mr. Ambassador. I'd like to start with the reason you are in Thessaloniki today. I know you came to honor the World Refugee Day and you have already visited the Children's Fair and the Refugee Women's Shelter. Are there any specific initiatives or projects that the US Embassy is undertaking to assist refugees in Thessaloniki, either through humanitarian aid or education and employment opportunities? How can the international community, including the US, support Greece in managing the refugee situation and ensure protection of refugees' rights?
Maria, it's so wonderful to be with you again. The High Commissioner, the UN High Commissioner of Refugees will tell you that we're moving from about 103 million displaced persons this year to 117 million. That's about 1 in 70 people in the world. They're displaced. Many of them are refugees. Many of them are fleeing oppression, community violence. They're fleeing war. You know my story. My parents left a very small village called Platanos. They had no education, they had no money, they were poor. They survived because of the Marshall Plan. My family is alive today because the United States came in and provided 6.5 million tons of food to Greece during the late 1940s and early 1950s. They also provided $2.2 billion in those days, 3 times the Greek economy. So the United States helped Greece reconstruct after World War II. That lesson is very important to me. I don't know if I would be here if it wasn't for the United States providing that sort of assistance to Greece. And my family was able to immigrate to the United States, and they were accepted. They were allowed to rebuild their lives, provide opportunities. They were provided opportunities. Their children became educated. This was the beauty of the United States. This was our compassion. This was our humanity. But it wasn't only a selfless act that spoke of humanity alone. Immigrants helped build the United States into the economic superpower that it is. So if you think about the determination it takes for families to come with young children on inflatables to reach this beautiful democratic country. They come not to ruin the way of life. They don't come to take someone's job. They come because they're seeking safety. They're seeking a better life for their children. The same thing that generations of Greeks sought in Australia and all over the diaspora. So they are here, and I understand the concept of walls, and I understand the concept of orderly and legal migration and an immigration system. I do. But those that are here, let's take them out of the shadows. Let's put the children in schools. Let's have them learn Greek and English. Let's provide job opportunities for their parents. There are so many unfilled jobs in this country. People are looking for workers. We have a shortage of healthcare workers and tourism workers and agricultural workers and healthcare workers. These people have skills. They want to work. They'll be grateful. And in 10 years, they'll be citizens of the world. If not, they'll be Greek. This will not only help civil society, but it will help the Greek economy grow. I think we have an obligation to make sure that not only our children are safe and doing well. I'm the father of 3, but I think we have a greater obligation to make sure that we take responsibility for the world's children who have been visited by war and violence to no fault of their own, to make sure that we're providing a safe haven for them as well.
If I may move to the subject of tourism and hospitality, which I know you are very familiar with. Could you tell us how does the US view Thessaloniki as a tourist destination and what steps can be taken to promote it among American travelers? For example, are there any plans for cultural exchange programs or initiatives to increase tourism flows between the US and Thessaloniki? How can we use the US expertise to enhance Thessaloniki's tourism infrastructure and ensure a positive experience for the visitors? Are there any unique cultural or historical aspects of Thessaloniki that international tourists should be aware of?
There are, and this is where we have an ευκαιρία, we have an opportunity. There was a study done in the United States about what Americans know about Greece. Number one was Santorini. Number two was Mykonos, and number three was the Acropolis. So in the United States, people went to certain very, very popular islands overwhelmingly. But they're discovering Thessaloniki. And Thessaloniki is incredibly unique. The first time I came here with my family, my father's name, ο πατέρας μου είναι Δημήτριος. My son's name is Dimitrios, James. And it has a magnificent cathedral. And it has, in my opinion, one of the most magnificent limani boardwalks that exist in all of Europe. I love coming here because I walk up and down the boardwalk, I get my steps in, but it's beautiful, it's magnificent. You're amongst people, you're amongst public art. Έχει ωραία κέφι. It has great restaurants. You could drive 30 minutes out of here and you'll get to Halkidiki. You can drive an hour and you get to Olympos. You'll get to where King Philip is, and they have the Greece just built a beautiful facility there. You know, you have mountains, you have gorgeous villages, you have an airport that is brand new, that has great connectivity. It's a gorgeous city. Laladica is one of my favorite places here as well. I call it the Soho of Thessaloniki. But if you look at a city that has opportunity, and I'll give you one example, we're very determined to build the Holocaust Museum here. We're very determined to do a remembrance park for the 46,000 Thessaloniki Greek Jews that died in the Holocaust. Greece had an incredible Jewish community here that's part of the diaspora. I think they want to come home, but we need to provide them with places to visit. So they could do Shabbat dinners, they could celebrate high holidays here, they can do bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs and weddings. That's just one example. This traditionally has been where the Balkans has come to vacation. It's been the capital of the Balkans. I think it'll continue to be that. But, you know, the US is discovering Thessaloniki, and I think the more they visit here, the more they're going to want to come back, because it truly is a cosmopolitan city that's just being discovered.
Thank you. Moving on to the issue of investment opportunities, what opportunities does the US in Thessaloniki, specifically in sectors such as technology, renewable energy, or infrastructure? Is there a way for the United States to support and encourage American businesses to invest in Thessaloniki and contribute to its economic growth, like, for example, through specific initiatives for programs to foster collaboration between Greek and American companies in Thessaloniki? How does the US view the business climate and economic potential in Greece?
Well, first and foremost, in the United States, the underpinnings of the economy come from educational institutions, universities, and health centers like hospitals and research. This is what Thessaloniki has. It's truly a college town. Many universities are here, including the biggest in Greece, Aristotle University. You have well over 100,000 college students here. So you have the intellectual capital. Έχεις επιστήμονες, πολύ έξυπνα παιδιά που θέλουν να δουλέψουν. What you need to do is basic research in the United States starts in the college level. There is a technology transfer to an entity. There's more research done. There is then investment capital put in, and you start a company. Apple and Google started in garages next to Stanford University. But the United States has a tremendous ecosystem of innovation and investment. It takes what the university does, and I respect the fact that Greece has public institutions, and I respect that Greece has public universities. But it can also have a bit of private sector constructs as well, because from the universities can come research that could facilitate companies that is now the underpinnings of a dynamic 21st century economy, 21st century industries, 21st century companies, and 21st century jobs. It begins to reverse the brain drain that has already started. Greece's economy is the fastest growing in Europe the last 3 years. And you're starting to see a lot of this happen. But to facilitate a greater ecosystem of investment and innovation, I think would help that along. U.S. companies have not only discovered Greece, they've discovered Thessaloniki. Today I'm going to meet with Deloitte. I spend a lot of time with Pfizer that has invested heavily here, with Chubb as well. They see Thessaloniki as not only a beautiful place to live and play, but also to work. It has the single most important thing that is needed in terms of what a corporate CEO is looking for, and that is a work-ready population that has graduated university, that is ready to go to work. So I think it has the underpinnings of being at a very dynamic beginning in terms of what is considered a 21st century economy.
And last but not least, sir, if I may, what is the US perspective on Thessaloniki's potential to become a thriving tech hub in the region? How can the US and Greece work together to foster the growth of the tech industry in Thessaloniki, such as through knowledge transfer, entrepreneurship programs, or attracting foreign investment?
I think they're doing that already, and I'd like to see it gain greater velocity. So in November, we had the Faro Summit. The International Institute of International Education sent over 30 universities. It was the largest delegation of US universities in the history of US international education. They partnered with the 24 public universities here in Greece. They did well over 100 programs, joint degree, dual degree, research programs, and they continue to build on that. That's the first step. You're looking to see a pediatric hospital that's going to be built in Greece. So continuing to make investments in the healthcare system, doing clinical trials here, having more Pfizers and Deloittes and Chubbs come in here, greater research. There's a research park that's being built in Thessaloniki. We need to make sure that that comes to fruition. More 5G, stronger electrical grid, data centers are being built here as well. Foreign direct investment in Greece is reaching a record level, and it's reaching a record level amongst US companies. They have discovered Greece. Greece has work-ready graduates. Έχουν το πιο σπουδαίο πράγμα. Έχουν πανέξυπνα παιδιά που είναι επιστήμονες. Θέλουν να δουλέψουν. Αυτό είναι το πιο σπουδαίο πράγμα, να έχεις μια καλή οικονομία. So you also have a lot of cooperation at all levels with the United States. We are looking to invest in Greece. We will continue to do so. And I think Thessaloniki is right up there as not only a potential tech hub, it is a tech hub. It's viewed as a tech hub. And it's not only important for northern Greece, it's important because it is the capital of the Balkans. And as it's an important US interest and European interest to have European integration of the Balkan countries, that speaks to prosperity, which speaks to stability, which speaks to peace, I think Greece is going to be at the forefront through economic diplomacy and investments, much of which headquartered here in Thessaloniki, to be able to do so.
Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ. Thank you very much. Αν μου επιτρέπετε, μία ερώτηση τελευταία στα ελληνικά. Έχετε έρθει πολλές φορές στη Θεσσαλονίκη και αναρωτιέμαι ποιο είναι το αγαπημένο σας σημείο, κύριε Τσούνη.
Κοίτα, θα σου πω την αλήθεια. Αγαπάω το λιμάνι. Κάθε φορά που έρχομαι, πηγαίνω στο ξενοδοχείο, I put on my sneakers, I put on my shorts, I put on my music, and I just walk up and down this beautiful limani. As a matter of fact, I tell friends, let's forget about lunch, let's walk the limani. It's beautiful. And, you know, I spent a lot of nights on some beautiful rooftops in hotels overlooking it, and 1 or 2 at Kitchen Bar as well. La Dadica is also a favorite spot of mine. And, you know, this isn't in Thessaloniki, but I would be lying to you if I told you I don't love Halkidiki as well.
Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Yeah, so